When I'm craving something sweet either for breakfast or dessert, I stumble in my kitchen, open my fridge, and no way. Two of these muffins have just as much protein as a protein bar, and each one is only 100 calories. High protein snacks like these muffins help me lose over 100 pounds and keep it off with ease. So I created a fat loss cookbook with over 150 plus recipes to help you get and stay in best shape of your life. We need 2 bowls for this recipe. We'll start dry and then get wet later. In our dry bowl, add in 100 grams of self-rising flour. If you have all-purpose flour and that's what you like to use for all purposes like the name says, that works just fine. But you should also add in 5 grams or 1 teaspoon of baking powder to turn your flour from all-purpose into self-rising. Then we'll add in 67 grams of whey protein powder. I recommend using a chocolate flavor. You want to use whey protein powder or a whey casein blend, but it would be a terrible idea to use vegan protein powder. You'll get no rise, no cakiness. You might think 67 grams of protein is this arbitrary random number I made off the top of my head. Trust me, it's not. If I randomly made up a number, I would have picked 69 grams of protein in this recipe. You need 67 grams, perfect ratio of protein powder to flour to make sure this is moist and not too dry. Any more protein, you risk this recipe being a little too dry. Then 7 grams of coconut flour, which is 1 tablespoon. When I reached to grab this bag, it slipped out of my hand and fell all over my kitchen counter and all over my floor. Ah! Now the cocoa we use is very important. There's natty, there's dark, and there's black cocoa. I'm going to use 20 grams of black cocoa powder because it gives these Oreo-like taste to these muffins. It's awesome. However, if you want more chocolate flavor, use natty or use dark. Natty is very bitter, very chocolatey. Dark is less bitter and less chocolatey, but gives this nice dark chocolate vibe. You want to make these muffins even healthier and more nutritious? Just take 1 to 2 scoops of cacao bliss and add it right into the batter. Cacao Bliss is a healthy chocolate product that tastes so good. I love making this tasty chocolate drink. All I do is take some almond milk, throw in 1 scoop of Cacao Bliss, and optionally add in some sugar-free chocolate syrup. Froth it up and it turns into a delicious chocolate milk. It crushes my cravings and it helps my immune system. This product has 10 superfoods in it: raw cacao, turmeric, cinnamon, MCT powder, black pepper, monk fruit, coconut nectar, lucuma, mesquite, and Himalayan sea salt. When I was little, my mom would give me turmeric milk. She'd crank a little bit of black pepper in there to increase the bioavailability of turmeric. I hated it so much because it tasted so bad, but it boosted my immune system, made me feel better anytime I was sick. I wish I had Cacao Bliss when I was a kid because it tastes like chocolate, but it has turmeric, it has black pepper. It's just, it would have made my life so much easier as a kid. I'm glad I have it now. If you want to pick some up, use code Rahul to get 25% off. Throw a scoop in recipes, make my chocolate drink with it, get your superfoods in a tasty way. Add 3 packets of sweetener, add some salt, add some baking powder, add some baking soda. I have a giant box that I keep in my closet to keep my closet smelling good because baking soda absorbs bad odors. And then for my bulk sweetener, I'm going to use 60 grams of erythritol. If you use 60 grams of sugar instead of erythritol, you'd be adding in 232 calories of sugar. Switching to erythritol will save us nearly 20 calories per muffin, but even if you did use sugar, these would be way healthier, way lower calories than any other muffin you could find. Why? Because first, these are far lower calorie. Regular muffins are equivalent to eating cake for breakfast. Second, they have better ingredients, no poor quality oils and sugar. Third, you get a boost of protein when you eat these. It's amazing. Regular muffins have literally no protein. And fourth, you'll get in some incredibly nutrient-rich ingredients like eggs, pumpkin, and Greek yogurt. Speaking of eggs, let's get some of those out from the fridge right now. You probably guessed it, but we gotta crack some eggs. Notice how I cracked these eggs in a separate bowl. Oh shit. The egg stayed in here and the shells went in there. How the what? Literally, how is this possible? I crack the egg, the shell goes in the bowl, and the egg stays in the egg. What? That's insane. I've never had that happen before. Whisk these up. The star ingredient of this recipe to keep these muffins ultra moist is pumpkin puree. Pumpkin puree is a cheat code ingredient in low-calorie baking. It's so low calorie. It has so much fiber. It keeps things so moist. I know some of you guys don't like pumpkin, but I promise you, in a recipe that has chocolate, you can't really taste the pumpkin because the chocolate just overpowers it. It's the best. But if you really hate it, you could use applesauce instead and things will be fine, but damn, the pumpkin is a cheat code. We're gonna add in a shit ton of pumpkin in this bowl. 300 grams, which is more than 1 cup of pumpkin puree. I left these muffins in my fridge for a week, sealed airtight, and literally, they were still moist, all because of the pumpkin. These have been in my fridge for 1 entire week. Only 3 left, and look, they're literally good as new. Still so moist. These are freaking good. Then I'll add in 150 grams of Greek yogurt to add more protein. I'm gonna add in 1 tablespoon of vinegar, which I know sounds really weird, but just trust me, it reacts with the baking soda to make these very fluffy. And then add a touch of sugar-free maple syrup, aka God's nectar. Mix all the wet ingredients until combined, then dump this bowl right into the bowl we have our dry ingredients in. It is super important, super important to not overmix the batter because overmixing results in chewy, tough, dense muffins. You don't want that. Gently fold all of this together until the dry ingredients are just barely mixed in, then stop. Optional, but if you want to, pour in some mini chocolate chips. Mini is better than regular sized chocolate chips because they're smaller, so you get a better distribution of chocolate for not too many extra calories. And you won't believe what happens to the bag of mini chocolate chips. So far in this video, I've dropped flour all over my kitchen. I dropped coconut flour, 90% of the bag gone. Now I dropped my favorite, mini chocolate chips, so please like this video. We need a muffin pan, and using a regular size 12-cup metal muffin tray is best. I'll leave an Amazon link in the description. Spoon in your batter into each hole. Metal pans are way better than silicone pans if you want a crust on the outside and soft interior. But if you want soft everywhere, which is, being soft is really good sometimes, then get a silicone pan. You start by putting like 3 fat spoonfuls in each hole, and then you get your spatula, scrape the rest of the bowl, and then divide this up evenly throughout all the holes. And bake these longer than the muffins with a few mini chocolate chips to get a little bit extra chocolatiness, and then bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. It's super important not to overcook the muffins. Undercooked is honestly completely fine because then they taste like a lava cake. They're gooey in the middle. It's amazing. While these are baking, it's a great time for me to tell you about something special to me, and that's glazed donuts. I love glazed donuts. I recreated them so they taste exactly like Krispy Kreme, but for half the calories and more protein. I added this recipe to my cookbook. Cookbook owners, download the latest update for free and get this recipe. You're gonna love it. Instead of splitting my book into 3 books, each with 50 recipes, I decided to make just one book with 150 recipes and free updates. And I priced it at $49, which is under 30 cents a recipe, and it's growing with more recipes. Now that the muffins are done, let's remove them from the oven and let them cool for 10 to 15 minutes. Then pop them out of that tray, eat 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or they're so good. And then put the rest in a container that you can seal airtight and keep it in the fridge all week long. Each muffin is 100 calories, 9 grams of protein, 12 grams of carbs, and only 2 grams of fat. Let's say you couldn't stop eating these, so you ate 6 of these muffins. You'd get in 600 calories and over 50 grams of protein. That is insane. This is a recipe you need in your arsenal. All right, bro, cheers.
Cheers.
You like muffins?
Mm-hmm. I never had chocolate muffins before.
Oh, for real? Blueberry is a classic, right?
Mm-hmm. It's fire though.
Thank you, bro. You need healthy meals for lunch and dinner to keep you on track with your diet, and that's where my $2 queso burritos come in. They're so cheap to make. You can easily meal prep them, store them in your freezer, and microwave them. In minutes, you have warm, cheesy, beefy burritos on deck anytime you need them. I'll see you in that video.